At Gallaudet University, the only college for the deaf in the nation.
Members of the deaf and hearing impaired community are teaming up with corporate and not-for-profit groups to lobby for more funding.
It's time that we show the world that we can do it.
I took a sign language class at Penn State, and I fell in love completely. So, of course, everyone always talked about Gallaudet. It's like the deaf haven.
It is a deaf culture. If you want to do that, come here. This is the perfect environment to learn sign language. First is that I get to be an ally or immerse yourself within the deaf culture. Come here.
This place is great and unique in a way that you can be who you are, whether or not you have hearing loss. Often outside hearing world, if you have hearing loss, you feel excluded, but here you don't.
Gallaudet is sort of the center of the deaf world. It is a place where deaf individuals can come and feel that they are the norm.
Deaf people on campus, most have been really, really welcoming, really nice. Some people are just more standoffish. I don't know if that's the right sign for that, and I understand that because this is the deaf world. I'm a guest here. This is not a place for me specifically. It's set up and built for deaf people who have been historically oppressed and today still are experiencing that.
A very simple way of looking at it is that when you see something with little d deaf, that is talking about the physical hearing loss. So oftentimes that's associated with a severe to a profound hearing loss of an individual. They've gone to the audiologist, they've gone through the battery of tests, they have been given the evaluation of you have this level of hearing loss. That is a deaf individual. Big D deaf, as far as deaf culture, is an identity. Big D deaf is a community and a culture in which someone chooses to be a part of and ascribe to all of the things that any culture would have, to language, to traditions.
The main part of deaf culture of the community is individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing. They make up the core. And so the outer parts of the culture involve people like me. I'm hearing, so I'm not deaf or hard of hearing. I can't actually be a part of the core, but I'm involved in the community. I'm learning the language. I'm an advocate for the community itself.
The grammar and the structure of American Sign Language is very different than English.
The grammar itself, the word order, is slightly different. So in ASL, you do a topic comment. So an example of this in English would be the sentence, I like cookies. In ASL, it would be cookies, I like. So your topic comes at the beginning and then you comment on it. Where in English, we don't really do that.
Deaf space is a concept within architecture, meaning they build the building structured to be open and highly visible. So like here, you can see there's so much clear glass. Elevators are clear so we can sign to each other, hi, how you doing? instead of growing up and having to talk to that person.
Everything here is built for accessibility. For example, I don't know if you noticed, but the hallways are wider. And the reason for that is so that you can walk with somebody and sign. And this building, actually, you can look down and you can communicate this way. So everything really is built for accessibility, and that is just really unique, I think.
At Penn State, say, they should have the necessary accommodations. They should be able to accommodate every student that walks through their doors.
A deaf student should be able to choose to go wherever they want to for college. And they should feel comfortable with that choice. And they should also have the equal access to education as any other individual who has been accepted to that university and chooses to go to that university. That being said, I think that Gallaudet University offers a very unique educational atmosphere that isn't anywhere else. That is the only place that you are going to find this, center of deaf culture, and it is home for a lot of people, and it is one of the first places that they feel they can easily be who they are.
RIT and Gallaudet has many resources available for fostering the academic growth of a deaf individual, but it doesn't mean that every school should rely on these two universities to be successful. Maybe one person wants a different major that's not offered here or at RIT, but they prefer to go to Penn State because they want to.
Because you may have that culturally deaf person who's from Pennsylvania who really wants to go to Penn State. Then you have to accommodate them, and Penn State has to get an interpreter. And it may just be that you don't see those things, but the Office for Students with Disabilities is managing that. And students just don't see that it's happening because you just may not be in the class with the person who has an interpreter. That just doesn't mean those people aren't there. It's just a large enough university that you may not be seeing them.
If we had a larger population of deaf students who were attending Penn State, we would need to have more interpreters, and Central Pennsylvania is lacking in certified and qualified interpreters to provide high levels of educational access for students.
So one thing that's really important to recognize here at Gallaudet is that there are still struggles. Even though it's set up and built for deaf people, there's still some accessibility issues that pop up. For example, we have, on campus, we have an interpreter program set up that we can request and they will assign and everything. But often, and very often, there's no interpreter that's available, or they don't show up, or something's canceled, and they're left with nothing. For example, we had externship interviews, and some people, or internship even, some people required an interpreter for their interviews to be able to communicate, and then last minute the interpreter canceled. But you can't cancel your interview, so what do you do?
I've been laughed at, I've been talked about behind my back, but I think that deaf people or anybody with a disability have a stronger will and have a stronger motivation to succeed because they have, I don't want to think we have something to prove, but we do.
most deaf individuals have like normal cognitive function. They're just as smart as hearing people, but people don't know that. And really advocating and making sure that they have full access to their education is so important to me.
Well, a Fresno man who graduated from Gallaudet University says the students there will not give up easily.
Where's your compassion? Meet this last great challenge. Make it one of the major health priorities of their country.